Hey, what's up, YouTube? First of all, I want to apologize. I'm a little late this week with my video. Um, it's really tied up today. No reason to make excuses. However, here we are now for another week of fighting foolishness. Before I get started here, go ahead and take a moment, like, subscribe. It really supports the channel. And so, without further ado, I'll get into the topic for this week. There's been a lot on my mind for this week. However, I'm sitting at a client's office today, and I was just thinking about what I was going to talk about. And something that came to mind is that this is kind of a follow-up for my video from last week about creation and like how are you setting your life up, and you're actively waking up and choosing, what you're going to create every day, and choosing that energy that's going to bring you that fulfillment on a daily basis, and making an effort to create the life that you want. And just kind of an extension on that for this week is kind of the level to which you can take that if you choose. I've worked around a lot of people. I've coached a lot of people. I've worked in the personal development industry for years, and supporting a program here in St. Louis where I live. And part of everybody comes into the process wanting to create something. People want a new job or a significant other or a new car or a certain amount of money or a house or whatever. And there came a point where I realized that personally, at a really deep level, that anything that I want to create for the most part is possible. And I want to edit that, okay, if I decided I want to be president next year, that probably wouldn't work out because there's no presidential election until 2024. However, what's actually available to us as humans in terms of having results in our lives is actually huge, and much huger than sometimes our brains want to allow ourselves to believe. And I'm just going to throw out a couple of examples, and then I'm going to challenge everybody to, to figure out how some of these examples might apply in their own life. And the kind of thing that was kind of ringing in my head while I was thinking about this is there's that whole slogan, like there's an app for that, there's an app for that. Whereas in life, there's actually an app to get every result that you want. And I don't mean like an app on your phone or on your computer. I just mean like there's a process that's available for any result that you want. And so when somebody would come in and be like, okay, I want a new car, it's like, well, getting cars is easy. You go to the dealership, you have your money ready, whatever that is, and there's even ways to do it without money. And you go there and you give them the paperwork, or you have the cash or whatever it is, and you drive off with the car, right? And then the question is like, what's in between the person actually sitting and wanting the car and then them driving off with the car? And the things that are actually in between the want and the result are oftentimes a finite number of steps that can be very easily understood if they're accepted by the person. So if I want to go buy a Ferrari, then I might need a certain amount of money to get a Ferrari. Or I might need to know the right people to get the money to buy the Ferrari, whether it's a private person or a bank or whatever. So if I really want that Ferrari, then am I willing to do the necessary steps that it is to get that Ferrari? Phone went off because I'm a busy guy today. Am I willing to do the necessary steps to get that Ferrari? Because the steps are finite. Like it's do this, do this, do this, and then get the result. Right? However, what I find with a lot of people is there's a whole like short circuit, right? Like it's like, ooh, that's an expensive car. Ooh, it's a car that's over $100,000. It's like, okay, well, so what? It's like the playbook is there. And the playbook is there for most things. If you want to become president, there's a playbook. If you want to go buy a house, there's a playbook. If you want a significant other, there's even a playbook for that. So first, like, are we willing to accept that there's a playbook? Because a lot of people like to argue with the playbook, and arguing with the playbook doesn't work, right? Like the playbook, just going with the original example, buying a Ferrari, the playbook is actually really simple. You can get the cash to buy it, go out and make your life about getting that, and everybody is capable of saving that amount of money if they choose to, right? Doesn't matter what kind of job you have, none of that matters. Now, somebody that has a low paying job might have to wait for years to be able to afford that. However, it's available, right? You could go and find somebody that has some money and have a relationship with them where they just give it to you, which is available. There are people that do that right now. There are people right now that are doing that. You could go work for the Ferrari dealership, and then you might have easier access to the Ferraris to go and buy them. But my point in this example is that there is a process that is available to get the results that we want. And oftentimes what I find people having a lot of tension over is the process. When when there's that kind of tension over the process, most of the time the answer is just trust what it is and accept it and move. You want to be a great painter? Start painting. Probably won't be Van Gogh tomorrow. However, if you're willing to accept the work that it takes to go and be a great painter, then the result will come at some point where, hey, people might look at your stuff and say, hey, I'll pay for that. However, are you willing to take the first step? And are you willing to accept that there is a process that's available right now to create that thing that you want? It's a lot, right? Because that makes the thing about that information I just gave you is that that's universally true. It doesn't matter what it is you want to create. It's like there is a route. There is a route to becoming a billionaire. There is a route to creating the relationships in your life that you want to have. There is a route to buying whatever the thing is that you want. There is a route. Are you accepting the route? Or are you standing in judgment of where you stand and freezing up or whatever it is that's stopping you from moving to that place that you want to go and having that thing it is that you want, whatever it is? So, I don't know. I hope that was helpful to somebody. But don't forget, if you want something in your life, you want to create a new result for yourself, what is that thing? What are the steps between where you are now and where you want to go? Are you spending your time in judgment? Are you spending your time making up reasons not to do whatever the thing is? And if you are, why are you doing that? That's the part where I would be looking right there. Like, why? Why let the thing stop? If the thing is that important to you, whatever it is, then hey, stop and say, hey, what are the things that I can do based on where I am to get there? If you are broke, there is a route to being a billionaire. There is a route. Are you willing to accept it? Those are my thoughts for today. Love you guys. Like and subscribe. See you next week.